In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I gained 1 million followers across platforms. In literally under 2 years, this was me going from the age of 19 to the age of 21 and purely just trying out different posts online to see how much money I could actually make by posting shorts. And now on Instagram, you can see here just on my juggling account, I have 420,000 followers. But across my YouTube as well as my Snapchat and other platforms, I have over 1 million. And in case you're wondering, like, how can I trust this guy if he's only ever gone viral with juggling content? That's actually not true. I've also gone viral with green screen talking content. So this is a channel that I run called Money Mind. And I used to post videos on here where I would talk and I would explain some sort of concept in business or entrepreneurship. And here's an example of one video on YouTube that got 6.2 million views. On top of that, it's another side business. I run a YouTube automation channel that had revenue like this. And this was all from the views that we got in our shorts. So I'm going to break down exactly what it took to get 1 million views and how you guys can too. Because a lot of people seem to think that just because you have the talent of, let's say, juggling, for example, you're automatically going to go viral. But that is definitely not true. Like, I know many jugglers who are way more talented than me, but don't get the views that I get because they simply don't understand how to structure a video to try to make it go viral. So with that being said, let's get into the video here. Now, the first distinction I want to make is whether the views that you get is luck or skill. My opinion is that any particular video that you post could get lucky, like it could go mega viral or it could flop. And this is why I think it's good to post a lot on social media because you never know what's going to end up getting lucky and just going mega viral. But that being said, I do think it's kind of like poker because the championship poker table is always basically the same people, which means that skill in the long run is what matters. And I think it would be the same with social media. Like if you took everyone's follower count and reset them from 0, I really think for the most part, it would be mostly the same people that rise to the top. So with that being said, understand that every video you post might flop even if you do the right things, and sometimes videos can pop off even when you do the wrong things. But that being said, there are such thing as right and wrong approaches when it comes to social media. Now, the first most important thing when it comes to posting any short is by far the hook. I'm sure you've heard of this before. This is basically the first 3 seconds of your video, and getting this is absolutely the most important thing because social media platforms care about trying to keep users on the platform for longer, and the only way they can do that is by serving content that actually keeps people from scrolling and keeps them on the app. So getting someone's attention in those first 3 seconds is absolutely crucial. Now, how do you do that? Well, it's funny because there's a lot of right answers to that question, but I'll show you a couple examples with my specific content. One of the first examples I'll show you is this video where I start by guaranteeing a payoff by the end of the video that they'll get. So I start by saying, I'm going to teach you how to juggle in under 60 seconds. Check this out. I'm going to teach you how to juggle 3 balls in under a minute. Start with 1. So the exact thing that someone can expect to receive by the end of the video happens very quickly. And it also lets them know the actual value that they're going to be getting from the video. So it gives them a reason to watch. And you can see here, this was 3 seconds long. I didn't introduce myself. I didn't give my name. I just said what you're actually going to be getting out of this video. And that leads us to the second thing, which is retention. The goal is once you hook the person to actually retain them on the video as long as possible. And the way that you can do that is by not delivering on the promise until the video is over. So in this video where I teach you how to juggle, the video goes straight through and you don't actually finally learn how to juggle until the very end of the video where I explain the last step. So for this video style to work, I had the hook and then I had the retention, and that's basically the way that I did it. And this is true whether I posted juggling content or whether I posted this sort of meme content. And so what I really recommend doing is finding ones that work in your niche and ones that work specifically when you do them, and then really rinse and repeat those formats. So I'll show you a format that worked really well for me in the past and is something that we're taking forward in a lot of videos in the future to continue to get more views, and I'll show you how much this is actually making in a bit. But this video went super viral where it just said cartoon juggling, and I used this hook. When you see juggling in cartoons, it usually looks like this, where they're juggling in a circle with either 3, 4, or 5 balls. And even though I can do it, I admit it's pretty hard to do in a ceiling as low as mine. But in juggling, this pattern. So the basic hook there is when you see juggling in cartoons, it looks like this with either 3, 4, or 5 balls. And sometimes things go viral without you really being able to know why. But once we found out this works, we were able to repeat this success time and time again. So for example, here's another video where I kind of reuse this hook.
If you see juggling in cartoons, it normally looks like this, where they're juggling in a circle with either 3, 4, or 5 balls. But this 3-ball pattern is not actually the main pattern used in juggling.
So yeah, you can see it got 12 million views the first time, which literally made thousands of dollars. And then it got 11 million views the second time, which once again still made thousands of dollars again. Just to show you that even on my YouTube, this video called Cartoon Juggling Explained, you can see here just on YouTube alone made $410, and this only had 3 million views. But on TikTok, it made way more money. I think it made like 2 or 3 grand just from a single video. So what I've done, and what I really recommend you guys do, is you start writing down all the formats that have worked, and specifically all the hooks that have worked in your niche. I have them all written down with examples here. So for example, I have the cartoon hook right here and then I have the link to the video that did this with 12 million views. But then I also have another hook with another video that went super viral where I basically said, this trick may look hard, but I'm going to show you that it's actually easy. And let's look at the hook for this video.
This trick may look hard, but I'm going to show you that it's actually easy, because if you start with one ball, you can just throw it back and forth.
And yeah, that's basically the concept behind social media. Once you figure out a hook that works, you write down that format and you start doing a video in a very similar format, but changing one thing. So for example, I might do this same type of video, but change the trick that I'm showing in the videos. So instead of doing Mills Mess and saying this is a trick that looks hard, but is actually easy, I might do inverted box and say, that's the trick that looks hard, but is actually easy. Because that's a format that I know has worked. And sometimes I do this exact same thing, but with videos that have worked on other channels in a different niche. So for example, check this video out right here with 175 million views.
This is just a regular ice cube, and if I drop it into water, it floats. This is because as water freezes, it expands.
So if I were to take this concept and apply it to juggling, which I might do, I might say something like this. This is just the regular juggling pattern, and when you do it normally, every single throw crosses, but there's a different way to juggle where it crosses in a different way. And that could be the hook to the video that I'm using from another video that I watched. That's the core concept of finding hooks and formats that actually work, and then obviously doing it in your own way. Like once you start posting, you have to figure out and start analyzing what's working from your end, and I would even look at the retention on your videos. So for example, just to show you, I can go to one of my videos on TikTok, click on the 3 dots, click on analytics, and if I scroll down a little bit, I can directly see what my retention rate actually looks like. And the same is true for YouTube as well. Then you can see, okay, 43% of people stayed after 5 seconds. Is this actually a good hook? Well, let's compare this to some of my more popular videos. For example, this video on cartoon juggling comes up, and when I click on analytics and scroll down, we can see that on this one, 61% of people stayed after 5 seconds. So I know there's a lot of room for improvement on the video that I just posted because nowhere near as many people stay for the hook. And then the question is, how do you grow and monetize on all platforms instead of just one? Because I'm monetized on TikTok, on YouTube, as you guys can see, and you can see even on Snap, I have 337K followers. And the way that I've been able to do this, which I'm super happy to put you guys onto, is by using a software that auto reposts my videos. When I first started social media 2 years ago, I literally was recording my videos in-app on TikTok. And then I just would post it to TikTok, and I actually didn't post to any other platforms at the beginning until I found something called repurpose.io. Basically, what it allows you to do is it allows you to post to whatever your main platform is. So for me, that's TikTok. And then you can set up automations so that video gets automatically reposted to your Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, and literally every social media platform. This is what I actually use to grow and get monetized on all these other platforms, including YouTube, which, let's see, over the course of its lifetime has made me an extra $8.5 thousand, and that was from me doing no extra work. It was purely from having my videos on TikTok automatically be reposted to YouTube, including not only the new videos that I would upload to TikTok, but I also set up an automation on Repurpose where it looks at all my existing videos that I posted to TikTok before I used Repurpose, and it can automatically start scheduling out those videos. So for example, if I go to this workflow right here, you can see it's automatically scheduled all the old videos on my TikTok that I posted in the past, and now all the new ones that I'm posting, like this one, are automatically going up on YouTube with Repurpose. So I highly recommend it. I'll leave the link to it in the description since it's literally exploded my growth across platforms and literally made me tens of thousands of extra dollars across YouTube, Snapchat, Facebook, and even Instagram. So yeah, with that being said, that's how I gained 1 million followers, and I hope this video helped you out. As always, thank you guys all so much for watching the video. I'll catch you all in the next one, and peace.